Hello, good people, good people. How are you out there? I just want to touch base with you all and just unpack a tad bit, just a tad bit. I would like to discuss being a perfectionist, feeling the need to prove yourself, and then how you have an issue or how we may have an issue with perception. First of all, let's just mention perfectionist. Now, that comes about because it's an inner issue. It's an inner issue of being faultless, fear of disapproval, and it comes from all of our issues. They stem from our childhood traumas, and a perfectionist stems from parents that have high or have had high expectations. They're very critical parents and they desire to control. And also perfectionist comes from kids that are raised in a chaotic and abusive environment. So it could be chaotic but not abusive, or it could be abusive but not chaotic. And of course, it's not the wherewithal. It's not the only means as to why you're a perfectionist. But pretty much those that grow up in those environments, they have the need to be perfect. Feelings behind those of us that would like to be perfect or consider ourselves perfectionists, it really deep down inside, all the way in the heart of hearts, it's a fear of failure. There is low self-esteem. Although a perfectionist doesn't seem as though they have low self-esteem, but they do. That's why they feel like they have to be perfect. And there's also a sense of unworthiness that comes with a perfectionist. So when you think you have perfected something, you are masking these emotions. And some of you out there are probably saying, no, we just want everything to be right. Okay, why? Why do you want everything to be right? What happens if it's wrong? What happens if you mess up? What happens when it's not perfect? You cannot be perceived as though you can mess up. You can't mess up. You can't be perceived as though you make mistakes. You can't be perceived as though you're human. Let's ask this question. Do you need to be perfect? Reflect and think about how you operate. And I just want you to know that you're not perfect. You're not perfect. Repeat after me. I am not perfect. A lot of times we sit there and say, oh, I know we're not perfect. We're human. We make mistakes. But deep down inside, you have an issue with making mistakes. And it's okay. That's what you have to say to yourself. Repeat after me. I'm not perfect and it's okay. I make mistakes and it's okay. We work on it. That's it. We make mistakes. It's okay. Life happens. And deep down inside, a perfectionist cannot fathom not being perfect. The issues with perfectionists is that they care about how one view them, and they go out of their way to prove the person being incorrect or prove to others that they are perfect. They got it right. They got it down pat. They know what they're talking about. And they have a hard time accepting mistakes. That's when we look at proving. Okay, so why is there a need to prove? It's considered I gotta say this word right, aggrandizing. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, and OMG, why do we feel the need to prove ourselves? I always tell people the proof is there. I don't need to prove anything. So many times I can talk here, I'll talk about mental health, I'll talk about a lot of different things. But when we're in an environment and people say, oh yeah, I spoke to that person and this is what took place. Oh yeah, well I did that and this took place. Well yeah, I looked that up yesterday and this would take took place. I'm the person that just listens. I'm not saying all of that. Because guess what? The proof is in my work. I don't have to prove that I interacted with someone or I gave them some money or I looked out for them. That doesn't matter. I know. God knows. And the energy that goes into proving, I can't even imagine. I know somebody, when I tell you if I need something and if I forget, I can go to them and say, hey, do you remember this situation and it took place 4 months ago? They can go and find it, figure it out, remember the time and dates of what took place, because that's their condition, because they always have to prove that they're right. They know what they're talking about. They got it together. And when they're proven wrong, then they have a justification as to why. I'm telling you, that is too much energy. We're human. Listen, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you what I know, what I remember. If I have to go back, if I can, I will. But to put so much energy into it and spend 4 hours on trying to prove somebody wrong, or trying to prove that I'm right, or trying to prove that I'm perfect, ain't no way. There's no way. And what happens is when we want to prove, it's because it gives us some type of a sense of a sense of worth, which stems back to the lack of self-esteem and also lack of emotional support that you may not have received. And I always look at perfection and feeling like you have to prove something. It goes hand in hand. And I know people who can prove something when you said something, or some people actually have said to me, I delete everything on my phone because it's annoying. Why do I have 20 scrolls of text messages, phone numbers? I mean, it's a lot on the phone already. And people have told me, nah, I keep it. I don't delete stuff just in case I need to go back to it. If I have to go back 6 months, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I don't remember. I'm not proving nothing. I'm not. Because it's just too much. It's too much energy. I'm going to just say, hey, my fault, player. You right. I thought I was right. I'm sorry. I'm incorrect. What can you say? So now let's mention perception. Perfection, got to prove others incorrect or prove that you're right, brings about this perception, which is the ability to see, to hear, to become aware of something through all of your senses, interpreting something. So we would love for others to perceive us in the best way possible. I want you all to believe and perceive me as the best. I'm very kind. I'm nice. I got everything right. I got everything going for myself. I got a home. I got a nice car. Wonderful family. My kids act right. My husband act right. My dog is the best. My parents, so loving. My siblings, we just get along all the time. That's the perception that we like for people to see. But guess what? There's no way all of this is perfect because we're human. Me and 1,000 people will either agree or disagree. We will have the same thoughts or may not. Same opinions or may not. Positive perception can improve your self-esteem. Yes, positive perception can definitely reduce stress and lead to greater happiness. Of course, because if you perceive me as a wonderful person, then I'm feeling good inside. I'm feeling pretty good because I'm being perceived. Somebody thinks I'm somebody. Somebody thinks I'm special. Somebody thinks that I'm doing pretty well. However, if you are dependent on somebody else's perception, then you will be miserable. And when you depend on somebody's perception and always want them to perceive you in a positive light, it stems from fear of judgment or disapproval from others. And it all stems back to having and wanting a sense of worth, being accepted. And the question is, to what extent are you willing to do all of this? Be perfect. Put that energy into proving that you're right, they're wrong, or whatever the thing is that you want to prove to others. and then do things so that people can perceive you in that light. Put that mask on so that they can see who you really not. How and how far are you willing to go to do all of this? To what extent? And the question is, why? What is it that you do not feel comfortable about yourself, that you have to be perfect, that you have to prove, and that you want others to view you a certain way? And all of this, meanwhile, you're miserable. And people can care less about you being miserable because you're pleasing them, you're showing them that you're perfect, you want them to view you a certain way, you're proving to them X, Y, and Z. Again, to what extent are you willing to do all of this? And the question is, why do you feel the need to be perfect? Why do you feel the need to prove things? Why do you feel the need for others to view you in a certain type of light? Especially to make yourself miserable, to change who you are for approval, for acceptance, for self-worth, to heighten your self-esteem. Go back and think of all of these things and understand why you have these needs. Think about where it stems from. What happened that made you want to be a perfectionist? What happened that made you feel like you have to prove yourself to others? Sometimes we prove ourselves to people that don't even care about us. What happened for you to want others to be perceiving you as whatever it is, fill in the blanks? Unpack. Peel off that onion. Answer those questions. And then push forward to becoming a better you, to be comfortable with you, to love you, and to move forward in your destiny and purpose without all of these triggers and moving forward to please someone else. Until next time, you take care of yourself. Think about perception, proving, and being a perfectionist. Until next time, take care.